All right, so my two gentlemen from NBA Lab, please make some noise for my guy, Billy Kidd and Eric Perugini. Here they come, baby. Let's go. They asked for some intro music. Here's your intro music. Let's go. Keep the noise going as long as they're walking out here. Keep it going. So you're here and you're here. That was a solid intro. I'm gonna sit down now. How are you guys feeling? You can grab your mics. Just do a little mic check.
Tired,
check.
Check. Check.
There we go.
Check one. There we go.
So how are you guys feeling?
Tired.
It's been a long day.
We're having fun.
Fun? You good?
I'm just excited to be the first ever NBA Con. I mean, this is cool. I love it.
Love that answer. All right, so we're going to bring out two friends of yours who you guys have worked with very closely. I'm so excited to hear more. First up, please help me welcome Gino Duranti of B2SS. Make some noise. Here we go. Here's your music. Here's your music. Come on. You asked for it. And behind him is Kenny Davis of Action Face. Come on, Kenny. Okay. First and foremost, sheesh. The fit. We got to talk about the fit. I know we'll talk more about your top, but just the fit in general. Is that all you, or did you get some help?
I might need some help. This is what? We got some Stone Island, we got some shoes on. But
Flex.
It's really all about the B2SS up top.
I love that. Kenny, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good. All my hoodies were dirty, so I just had to wear this.
We could get you a hoodie from the back if you want to.
Thank God. Yes,
switch
please.
out. Let's give it up for all our panelists. Give them a hand, everybody. Come on. All right. I think this first question is, Eric, Billy, tell us, what is NBA Lab? For those who are here who have no clue what NBA Lab is, I would love for you guys to break it down for us. What is NBA Lab?
Well, I'm going to channel our partner who isn't here, Bill Fickett. And he always says, he loves to say that we pinch ourselves when we say this, but we actually have a license to sub-license NBA properties. With the approval of the NBA, so what we do is we support small and minority-owned brands and grant them sub-licensing agreements through what we called experiments. So what we do is set out a plan with each of our partners, and whether it's a 1 or 2 year plan, and we grant them a sub-licensing agreement and go to work. We don't have minimum guarantees, so that's a huge benefit for a small brand. We want them to focus on their marketing dollars, their production dollars, distribution dollars, and then we collect a royalty and we split it with the NBA. We're about 7 years in. We're about 30 partners in. We're proud to say that over 50% of our partners are minority-owned brands, whether it's black, brown, female brands. And that's a big focus. But really what we bring to the table is a lot of creativity. We look for that white space, things that the big partners aren't doing with the NBA, and then kind of fill that white space. And that's how we get in the door, because obviously we don't want to be duplicative of what the NBA does already with the big partners. We don't want to step on the big toes. And so we focus on the little guy doing some really creative projects. And I think two of our partners here will prove that to be true.
So just to understand a little bit better, you have a license to license the NBA IP to smaller companies or unique companies who may not have that opportunity otherwise, and you find unique ways to collaborate with these companies and you share the profit.
100%.
Bingo.
I want to toss it to you. Can you break that down a little bit further? I mean, you just ran through all the stats. I feel like you left nothing for him to say about NBA Lab, but I would love to hear from you too about NBA Lab before we move over.
Yeah, I mean, I think Billy hit the nail on the head. For the most part, again, not to be redundant, but we do work with smaller companies, and we help them utilize the power of NBA IP. We also bring the Players Association into the mix as well, if they want to use IP from the group player license. One other small thing I'll mention to complement Billy's point is that we also run a program called NBA Reclaimed, and it's very fun, very unique, very cool. When the NBA courts are retired, whether it's a championship court or a court that's just met its lifespan, we take that court and we upcycle it, and we can make cool, unique, different products out of that court, whether it be collectible items, wall and other type of art pieces, furniture, functional pieces like bottle openers and whatnot. We've worked with programs like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, All-Star Courts. So there's another layer to what the NBA Lab does beyond licensing. But I think between he and I, hopefully you guys have a good idea of what the lab is and what we're about.
Do you guys understand what NBA Lab is? Do we have a good idea about that? Okay, let's clap it up for NBA Lab in our house. Give him a hand. Gino, you gotta be here because you have something to do with apparel and fashion with your style. Can you tell us about B2SS? What is B2SS? What does that stand for, and what is it?
So B2SS stands for Back to School Special.
Sweet.
And that's the premise of this. So what I'm doing is I call it academic adolescence. I'm kind of riffing on you know, my childhood and experiences and things that I interacted with, and you know, we're creating what we call modern nostalgia. So I create these fun renditions of the team logos, and you know, give people a little chance to step out of the normal, tried and true IPs of the NBA, and dabble in something a little different.
I like what I'm seeing. I want to talk about the piece you have on, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's give it up for Gino in the house, y'all. Kenny.
What's up?
How we doing, man?
Good.
You got to tell me about Action Face, but before you speak on it, I think we actually have a video that speaks to what you do a little bit. Did you know that? We have a video.
You're kidding.
No, let's take a look at the video boards now and check you out, Kenny.
I don't know if that video is gonna happen.
Oh, so we did have a video, though. I promise.
He wasn't kidding.
I promise you we did have it. I'm not pulling your leg, Kenny.
You're gonna have to stop by the booth and see what they do. It's awesome.
Go check out actionface.ai and you'll be able to see the video.
Now I have to see the video. You know what I mean? I want to see the video, but now you're going to have to explain to everyone in great detail what is Action Face. Tell us about it.
All right, this is really hard, so I hope you guys have your pencils out. We turn you into a bobblehead. Turn you into a bobblehead. So you're going to take your phone, scan your face, and then we're going to make an avatar of you. You can make videos of yourself as an avatar, shooting hoops. You can make yourself tiny, make yourself huge, and then when you're ready, turn yourself into an action figure.
Oh, these are the action figures right here?
These are the action figures, yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to actually start before I come back to NBA Lab. How do you get into this business?
All 30 teams.
I have been in the entertainment business for almost 30 years, and I was running the high-tech group for Hasbro Toys 10 years ago. And one of the things that one of my verticals was 3D printing, and when we started turning people into Marvel and Star Wars action figures, we'd have these crazy lines for this product that was a terrible product, and it was insanely expensive, and everything was wrong with it. But I could just see how much it meant to people to be a hero, and it struck me that the people that were in line, these were adults buying toys, and so. When I left Hasbro, what it sort of inspired me to do this was realizing that there was this need. Everybody wants to feel like a hero. And the most clear way that you can tell somebody that you're an all-star is to be a bobblehead. The face on the bobblehead is an all-star. And so that was the inspiration.
And so this is something that you've been doing for how many years now?
So from the initial inspiration at Hasbro, it's been 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
What is the process of creating this?
It is deceptively difficult. So what we do, we use the phone, so you're basically taking a selfie, but what we're actually doing is using AI to turn that into a 3D map of your face.
Scary. Keep going. You got us on that. We're all in now, so keep going.
So then we got this 3D map of your face, so it has the geometry that looks like you. Now this is super important. As someone who's been in entertainment for a long time, one of the things that I've seen is that if you don't get it exactly right, it's creepy. It's really creepy. So, you know, it was important. We spent years in development, getting to that point where a person's mother would say, "Oh my God, that's you." It's if you don't pass the mom test, you're not there.
So has it always been digital? Or there was never a point where you had an artist or anything like that? It's from a photo, it's scanned, and then it's digitally rendered.
That's right. That's right. And you
See how intrigued I am about this, right? I'm like, how?
Because everybody, I was part of a brand, so I led a brand, maybe some have heard it, called Skylanders. So I ran kids and family for Activision more than 10 years ago, and we created this category called Toys to Life. And what I saw for that, it was kids that we were selling to, but when they see themselves on a screen as an animated character, that thing is alive. And in real life, you can't shoot fireballs from your hands and lasers from your eyes, or jump 50 feet and do a dunk, but you can on a screen. And so what we wanted to do was first give people that ability to become the hero that they want to be, and then the ability to memorialize it with 3D printing.
I love it, Kenny. Gino, I'm jumping to you now. I want to know a little bit about your story. How did you get on this stage right now, and what was your inspiration to? I know it's a very difficult industry to be successful in. What was your motivation throughout it all, and how did you find success?
The way it all kind of rolled out, it was the vision of, it was really based off the juxtaposition of the perfect garment to a kind of shoddy-esque graphic. So I came from a very cut and sew kind of background where I was making incredible garments, and they were just more based on the fit and the fabric with attention to details. But I didn't have big branding or logos or anything going on, and I was building the business like that. And this was my original company that I had started, and I was doing that. And then I said, all right, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna know this is me when you're getting out of a car across the street. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw these big graphics, and it's gonna be the perfect construction of this garment, and then we're gonna slap it with these big fun designs. And that's what I've been doing. And again, it was the shirts are an oversized cut and sew shirt. We do production locally. We have an overseas as well. And we've just been developing the product with attention to the details in the garment, and then slapping on this fun and exciting graphics over here.
Has it always been oversized?
So yeah, it actually it has been. So that was like one of my key things was I see a lot of the players come through the tunnels, and they all got the drip on, and unfortunately that drip never seems to be the team apparel. So when I was coming in, I wanted to give them something that they could feel that vibe and that swag when they're wearing it, but then bring it back and put them in their team gear. So that was really my vision, was to be able to give the players, something that they can feel proud to wear. Not that they don't already, but a little something different than the repetitive kind of stuff I was seeing.
Now, the trends of fashion has changed. Like, baggy was cool, then kind of tighter got cool again. Now I'm seeing baggy come back. Do you see like maybe a spike now in some of your stuff because baggy's back in?
Yeah, I see the spike. I also see just a lot more of it becoming available in the space. A lot of people are starting to get on the oversized wave and everything like that. But I got a very custom cut. I can guarantee you're not going to find a T-shirt like mine. And we've been developing it for quite some time, and it is it's something serious. It's not going to fit you like anything else in your closet, and it's going to stand out. And then with the NBA IPs, it just becomes a big movie.
Come on and flex now. Show it off for us. Can we kind of see it?
Let me give you. So we got the Boston Celtics
That's good
on
stuff,
right
man.
now.
That's really good.
This is a 3XL. I got it over the hoodie. But
yeah,
again, that's it's the vibe.
So Eric and Billy, big companies would love to partner with the NBA. You guys chose to focus on smaller and more unique companies to partner. Can I ask you, why did you guys decide to do that? He's like, you want to take this one? You want to take this one?
Well, our partner again, Bill Fickett, he's like kind of a godfather in licensing, and for him it's just a way to pay it forward. He was a young man. He put Larry Bird on a shirt. Nobody had ever put a player on a T-shirt before that, if you can believe it. And so he wants to pay it forward. We hooked up. I'm an artist, been curating graffiti for about 20 years, and fell in love with what we were doing and wanted to create a graffiti brand. So we thought graffiti and basketball, a match made in heaven. So we started curating. In 2010, we were at Art Basel. We painted 36 backboards, 36 different graffiti artists. And from there, we just wanted to expand. Selling art was really challenging for us. But really, we wanted to get into the apparel. We wanted to get into the wearables. We wanted to get into the hard goods. And in order to do that, was really challenging for us. And we thought if we created the lab, then we can bring those opportunities to small partners. And having a seat at the table with the NBA is just something that's really for the Nikes of the world, the 2Ks, the big brands. And so we're here to help the little guys have that seat at the table.
Okay, so what is the process, though? Because I'm sure now there's thousands of people who want to collab with you guys and who are probably deserving of that, right? So how do you narrow down who you're going to work with, when you're going to work with them, how you're going to work with them? How does that process go?
First and foremost, concept. We get a lot of artists that come to us. Look, I can draw, Mom. But that's not enough. You need an idea. You need a concept. And again, we look for white space. We can't be duplicative. We can't put the same thing on the shelf space. So it's really about the concept, the idea that you bring to the table. And if it's a good concept, it's solid, then you could build on that. That's from the get-go.
And I think just to complement Billy's point a little bit, we get dozens of submissions every week, hundreds every month. People come to us with these ideas, and we look for not just the concept and the white space, but that is a prerequisite, but also the person. Anybody who wants to start a business, if you're looking for funding, if you're looking to get traction, people invest in people who have a vision, and we don't just take somebody off the street with an idea. You have to have a little bit of the infrastructure behind you. What's your production capabilities? Do you have sort of a beat on your distribution? What are your aspirations? What market are you going after? What's your price point? What's your retail? We vet them. We screen them because we only have a limited amount of spaces. So when we sit down with an Action Face or a B2SS, we are very deliberate about how we look at them and how we analyze them, just to make sure that we're all collectively set up for success. Because at the end of the day, there's an opportunity cost with that. If we put our time one place, we're going to have to remove it elsewhere. So we want to put our time behind the brands that are really moving the needle forward, that are visionaries, progressive thinkers, and that will work with us. So we work very closely with those brands to kind of incubate them in a way and make sure that we're all collectively set up for success.
That's
obviously
cool.
The brains, right?
No, I love it. I was going to ask all four of you now, specifically, how did this come about? How did the B2SS come about? How did Action Face come about? And I don't want just your perspective. Can we all tell the story how each of these entrepreneurs partnered with you guys?
Let's do it.
I'm putting it on all of you. So how did this happen? You guys applied, right? And then what?
It happened in Vegas.
It did.
I met Gino.
Yeah.
And he brought us this children's book and showed it to us, and we were like in love from the get-go.
Really?
It happened in Vegas, really.
He's been saying about the concept and white space. What I did have was the concept. I came with a full brand identity book that I actually printed out and hand bound it, and it was a really hand done Bible of sorts that was my brand identity, and it outlined everything I was planning on doing, and it was full detailed in concept in this book. And funny thing about white space was I actually pitched them with 3 different, I had a t-shirt, a long sleeve, and a hoodie. And again, I was coming from cut and sew, so I had just developed them. They weren't even dyed, so they were just white, and there was no graphics on them. And I was telling them, I showed them the book, and I'm like, yeah, envision the graphic on here. And, I was really pushing them on it. And, at first they were just like, all right, seems like you got a great idea, but you have no sales. You don't even, what are we talking about? And my company was very early. I actually just did a pop-up at Fred Siegel at this point, and that was my first launch. And my buddy was making chargers with them. These cell phone chargers that looked like they were molded, so it'd be like Miami Heat was a fire extinguisher. The Knicks was a spray paint can. And they, you charge your phones. And I said, how'd you get this done? And he said, I got these guys at the NBALAB. Next thing you know, I came up here for Summer League, showed him it, and, Bill's not here, but he was really the guy who kicked this off. He told me this great story about the one that got away. And he said, have you ever had one that got away? And I told him, he said, you're probably too young to have one that got away, but let me tell you about this. And he told me this story about when he was, earlier on, he was running a screen printing shop, and he had this guy downstairs working in the basement. He said, can I be in here after hours? And I got a project I'm working on. So Bill said, okay, go for it. A couple months goes by, the guy comes upstairs, says, thank you so much, and he takes off. And he's like, what's going on? And the guy just left. He goes down into the basement, starts looking around. There's a bunch of papers everywhere. The guy left a mess. So he grabs all the papers, and they're like pizzas and these turtles, and he's throwing them out, throws them all out, sitting on the couch 2 months later, and then here comes that guy on TV walking across the stage, and he's there to explain about his new hit TV show, The Ninja Turtles. So Bill threw out about 500 of the original sketches. And when he saw my book, he said, if you give me this book, I'll do the deal today, because I'm going to keep this book for the rest of my life. And he still has it.
True story.
Wow, that was a great story. Can we clap for that story? That's a good one. Kenny, that's a hard one to follow up.
I know, I'm not even going to try.
Good luck, man, but tell us your story, Kenny.
Well, here's what I want to do. I want to tell my story almost as advice to entrepreneurs, because
Okay.
I think that's what so impressed me about these guys. So I've been on the inside of big companies, the Fortune 500 entertainment companies that do their own licensing, and I've seen how some of the best ideas just get lost. If it doesn't fit right into the mold, I mean, these companies are so big, they just don't have time to incubate. Right? That's why it's an incubator. So when I started Action Face, we were fortunate enough to be able to raise money. I had great contacts. We were actually talking with the NFL. And I got the sense that they were really happy with doing things the way they're done. And I had the chance to talk to somebody who was inside the NBA, and I was like, this company really likes to try new stuff. This is a company that believes in being at the forefront of culture. I want to be in bed with this company. And then the next thing I said to my team was, we've got to figure out if there's an incubator. So it wasn't even like I stumbled upon these guys. We were like, I pray that there's an NBALAB out there. And the reason why I say that is that, when you're a startup, you're at best a high school student. Like, you should not go out onto the pro court, no matter how good you will be one day, you're just going to get benched. So go find yourself a great coach, a coach that's going to talk to you all the time, that's going to care if you get better. If you can find yourself an incubator, if you can work with these guys, definitely do it.
That's really good advice. I think it deserves a hand clap. That was very good. Thank you for that, Kenny. My next question, Gino, Kenny, what is the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur? You both are in industries that are extremely difficult to succeed in, and yet here you are. What's the scariest thing, and what keeps you going in spite of that fear?
You want to go first? Or you want me to?
Whatever you want to do, Kenny, take it.
I got this one because I'm also
I
a parent.
think
So I want to dispel a myth out there. So you've all heard that entrepreneurship is really, really hard, and people have tried to scare you out of starting your own company. Are there any parents in the crowd? Okay, so if you can change a diaper at 4 a.m. on a Saturday, you can be an entrepreneur. So it's not as scary as you think. You just, like a baby, you have to love it, because you will be changing diapers at 4 a.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that thought there,
You're funny.
not so much about the diapers, but it's like he was trying to say. It's not that it's a scary thing. I actually think it's more exciting than anything. It's a very exciting process being an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, the scariest part of it is that the accountability is really all on you. At the end of the day, it's you, and there's no one there to help you. There's no one there to save you. So when it goes wrong, or when you find yourself up at 4 a.m. and it's hit the fan, you got to change that diaper, and it's you who's got to do that. So I think the scariest part is just you're kind of in a raft out there in the ocean by yourself, and you're all you got. So you got to keep yourself going. Back to the drive. I think it's a lot about entrepreneurship. No matter what industry you're in, your biggest competition as an entrepreneur is really yourself. You got to battle daily to not only get better, but just lift yourself up and continue. Failure, that's going to happen. It's about how you bounce back. And I try and fail as quick as I can. Because then we're gonna adjust, and we're gonna be coming right back at you, and it's gonna be better. And I think that's kind of the core of being an entrepreneur, is making sure you got that in you. You can take the hit and keep going.
I couldn't agree more. I want you two now to talk about the benefits of partnering with NBALAB and some of the things that have happened with your company since you guys have partnered together. And then you two could also piggyback off of whatever they say. Kenny, you want to go first, or Gino? Some things that you've benefited from, some things that you've seen, some successes that you guys have had with your partnership.
Well,
Get 'em.
we wouldn't be here otherwise. I mean, case in point, the reason that you partner with a big brand is because you're leveraging a fan base. You're leveraging this whole community that exists out there, and getting in front of that fan base is something that you never want to take for granted. And honestly, if these guys hadn't been such great advocates for us, I don't think anyone would choose a startup company that's pre-revenue to get space in front of all of these fans if there wasn't an advocate inside the building saying, check this out, this is cool.
And I'll just jump in quickly. Action Face, through the NBA and the support that we have from the league at the NBALAB, has had 3 different activations at NBA All-Star this year in Salt Lake City. They were fortunate enough to be at the Abu Dhabi games last year. They were at Summer League last year. They have stepped up. So it's a two-way street. The NBA and the NBALAB opens the door, and it's for the partners to be able to walk through that and take advantage and leverage those opportunities. So it's got to work in a reciprocal manner.
Yeah, I just think it's such a prestigious platform that they've built and been putting in years of history to generate these IPs and the glory that they hold. So especially like a brand like B2SS, to be able to manipulate and play around with these legendary IPs, it's just incredible. It's nuts. It's crazy.
It's great finding these folks. For us, our motto is all ears all the time, because you never know where the next idea is going to pop up, and we just love that blank paper. It's just white. Let's fill it in.
You have Back to School Special, you have Action Face. Can you talk a little bit about some other partners and other companies that you guys have partnered with that you're proud of?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, you had one of them on the stage earlier in Hyperfly, one of our other apparel partners. And through that relationship of translating logos into various languages, we were able to work now with Crunchyroll on this unbelievable collaboration that launched here at NBA Con. That's another wonderful case study around the NBALAB. But beyond the apparel side and what you see here on the stage, we have some partners that we work with, like Ollieball, which has made a really fun indoor play ball. Again, something that kids and grown-ups of all ages can participate in, and it has wonderful IP. It's very uniquely created from a design standpoint. You can draw on the ball and you can play. It's such a fun, engaging kind of product for us. And look, we can go on and on, but just a few more. We have a company called Fresh Paws, which works with pets, which is a great category. It's fun. I mean, you love your pets like you love your kids in a way, right? And to be able to bring a unique, different approach to that, I think is so cool and valuable. We've worked with companies that make vinyl figurines, and we've been able to take those figurines into Walmart and help scale the revenue for Terry Smith and IPT Creations, who's another great partner of ours. So we have products in a variety of different categories. We're getting ready to launch some new partners this year, and we talked about failures, and the second part of this word is laboratory, and laboratory is an experimental area. So we don't always hit a home run, but we try our best, and we have a really fun roster that we think rounds it out and makes it very complimentary for us to be successful. And if I'm forgetting one or two notable companies you want to call out, Billy, have at it.
Well, we have Round 21, which is really wonderful. They do a lot of things with art. I mean, creativity is a big part of what we do. That's where we started. The foundation was art of basketball. We've actually put Dwayne Wade on the court, gave him some basketball sets, his brush, gave him some paint, and he went Jackson Pollock all over the court. So it's really about the creativity. That's, at least for me, that's the core. Let's begin there. It's creative, it's new, it's innovative. Let's move forward.
So can we talk, what is the process and how involved are you guys with input and ideas? Or is it more hands-off? Is it more, we trust you, do your thing, here's the IP? Or is it more of a, hey, let's huddle together and ideate this? Because I remember when you said concept from the beginning is what you guys look for. Is it something where it's collaborative, or is it project by project? How does that process go?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the partners. Like some of them are early in, so they need a lot more hand-holding, a lot more guidance, and others are just built to rock. Like Gino, he just, here's the
Rock
idea
star over there.
Yeah, no, and he goes at it. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would just add, we have a wonderful team at the NBA that we work very closely with. So when we bring somebody in and we vet them accordingly, we do that with the NBA's blessing. And then once they're in the family, we work closely to figure out how do we help grow distribution? How do we help them iterate the product? I mean, one of our counterparts, Michelle at the NBA, is phenomenal in helping us look at packaging. What does shelf space look like? I mean, you have to think of the logistics and the operational part of it, because you can have a great product and a wonderful idea, but if it's not commercially viable, if it's not something a retailer wants to buy, or we have the right buying cycle, so we sit down, and to Billy's point, sometimes we hold their hand, sometimes they know what they're doing and they're a well-oiled machine. So it does vary, and we kind of tailor it to who that licensee is, and sometimes they need creative help. Billy stepped in and he's helped redesign logos and brands for people. Sometimes they need distribution help. Sometimes they need help with factories, where we've been able to bring in people who have resources there. So it's really about identifying and sort of auditing what a business is, where the softness in that business is, and then how do we help kind of make their weakness a strength, right? When you look at that SWOT analysis and making sure that we're not going to succeed all the time, but we want to put these guys in a position for success, and then it looks good on us, it helps us financially, them. I mean, the rising tide lifts all the boats, and we want to make sure everybody in our portfolio does well as best as we can help them.
So let's say somebody is in here right now or watching the stream, and they have a company, and they want to apply to work with you guys. What do you have to say to them? What are you looking for? What can you tell them that will help them grab your eye? What are the things that you're looking for right now?
Well, I would start by telling them to go to NBALAB.com and filling out an application. So there's my little shameless plug, but NBALAB.com is where they can go. But no, I think honestly,
do's and don'ts. Come on, keep it real.
Well, we are all ears all the time, and so we listen. And if we find that nugget, then we pursue it further. I mean, that's really the core of it. It's, you got to have that gut feeling. You got to speak to the person, like Eric was saying, it's all about personality. It's who's behind the brand, and if you're feeling it and there's a good concept, and then we try to move forward. We get a lot of rejections. We've been around enough to know what could get past the finish line with the NBA and what won't. So we massage that, but really we love to listen because who knows.
Okay. All right, Gino, Kenny, what's next? What's on tap with you and NBA Lab and with your companies individually? We'd love to hear what you guys working on, what you guys have working on, and what we can expect next.
You can go first if you want.
I'll take it. All right. What I got coming up? So we're really just warming up right now. I got 10 teams on the cut and sewn oversized boxy tees back there at the Cardboard Castle. Make sure you check that out.
Plug it up.
But what I have coming is, we're looking to expand the SKUs. So again, I come from, cut and sew full looks. So when I'm shooting lookbooks and photo shoots, I got more looks and styles I can get off. And right now I kind of boxed myself in with, 10 teams on the same style tee, and it's all black. So it's like, I can't wear every one of these, and I got nothing to style with. So I'm fixing that moving forward, and we're going to make sure that I can really present something here that's giving people a little more of a chance to get involved at all the levels, not just the T-shirt. I'm going to bring out the pants. We're going to get the jackets, some outerwear going, and we're really going to lean on the lab, and with the help of Michelle, I think we're going to get some great products approved here. We got backpacks, we got side tables, we got some really cool stuff.
Got me all hyped up over here.
Yeah, I mean, we got some sweet stuff that we've been pushing, and we just we need to get it across the finish line. But a lot of exciting stuff is in the works.
And for those who are here who want to check you out, where are you located out there?
You just head straight back, and you'll probably run into me. I'm a cardboard castle, 8 feet tall. It's a good time. 10 teams. It's like a little locker room made out of cardboard and PVC, hand built, hand drawn, on a kitty aesthetic style. I put it together with PVC and cardboard and tape. It's a very safe fort.
I can see how you got
All
the
Gino.
partnership with NBALAB, man.
Yeah.
You got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Gino. That's a great answer. Very excited. I'm going to check you out. Kenny, what about you, brother?
All right, so it's time to go big. So as Eric said, we've spent a year kind of prototyping this. We're a startup, right? So you gotta prototype before you scale. So we've been, places like NBA Con. We were at Abu Dhabi with these guys, and we're showing people in person what we'd done, working out all the kinks. And what would happen is we'd give away a free digital avatar, and 39% of people would fork over on average $80. So we're like, okay, this is working. So we're trying to figure out, how much more can we pull back until we don't even need to be there anymore. So the next step for us is to just get out of the picture altogether, put this out digitally into the wild, and have people start downloading the app for themselves.
That's exciting. Let's clap it up. Very nice. So we're a little low on time. What I would love from all four of you, advice for any entrepreneur. And this could be something you wish you knew sooner as an entrepreneur. This could be from your standpoint, once again, any advice to them, how to scale, how to stand out, mistakes not to make. But I want each of you to leave any entrepreneur, any young person coming up who's trying to build or create something and make it legit. What is your advice to them?
All right.
Let's start this way. Just want to make our way down this way, or
Yeah.
let's try it. Let's see how it
Let's
goes.
do
Yeah.
You guys can.
He's like, let's start here. How about that?
Start there.
How about we start here?
No,
Lean in.
So all right, so again, I'm doing this for the startup founders out there. So I'm going to talk about money, because everybody's got to raise money. So there's 3 things your investors are looking for. They're looking for how big is this market. They're looking at what's your moat, how are you protecting your castle, and the most important thing they're looking for is your team. They're not looking at your idea, and the reason why, and I say this as somebody who's done a couple of these myself, it's because your idea will change. The only thing you know about your idea is that it's not what it's going to be when it's finally profitable. So get the best team that you can possibly find, focus on a market that's big enough that your investors will become even richer, and make sure that whatever you're doing, it's something that's yours. Nobody else can do it.
Now that's going to be a tough one to follow, Gino. That was really
Kenny
good.
did it.
Thank you. That was a great answer, Kenny. Can we clap for that answer? That was really good. Thank you. That was really good.
So my advice for entrepreneurs. When you first start out, you find yourself wearing not a lot of hats, but all the hats. You got to do it all. And I think, you want to fall in love with that process. It's the most daunting part of it, is when you feel overwhelmed because you're doing so much. But when you're first starting, and I wish I would have focused a little more on this, is you really want to know every procedure and how the whole business operates. From designing the shirt to manufacturing it, all the way to the packaging and the placement of where it's going and how you're putting it into the market. It's good to know every process, so that way when you start bringing on people to get your team together, you know the processes and you know how it's supposed to be done, and you can kind of, sway it the way it needs to move to keep your vision alive. I also think that, if you truly believe in your idea and what you're doing, make sure you handle your IPs on that. Get your trademarks, your copyrights, get all of that taken care of. You know, business structure. That's something that I really lacked in the beginning, and I wish I would have paid a little more attention to. You know, believe in yourself. Again, you're the entrepreneur, so you're betting on yourself. And, you know, double down. Bet on yourself, go hard. Make sure you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed with the business structure, and let it rip.
That was great. Thank you, Gino. Clap it up for that. That was very good. Thank you. Eric.
I'm going to build a little bit on that point. It sounds so, there's 2 points I would make. One, never stop learning. You know, Billy to my left, my partner here, mentioned our other partner who's not here, Bill Fickett. I've learned a tremendous amount from Bill Fickett. I've been in the sports industry for 23 years. I've actually been part of a startup. I had the luxury or the opportunity, the fortune probably, of working at the NBA prior to this. I've worked at agencies, so I've had a little bit of a panoramic perspective. So being in this position allows me to look at it from where Gino and Kenny sit, but also from this position. Never stop learning. I surround myself and ask questions. I've learned so much from people like Billy, from Bill, from other people in my life. The other thing I would say is, never get bored with the basics. Everybody wants either immediate gratification or how do I skip the line? You gotta go through the basics. And I said this on another panel a couple months ago, but I always look at the late Hall of Famer Kobe Bryant, and I look at how many shots that guy took a day in practice, how many layups, how many free throws he had to make before he got out on that court. The work that you put in behind the scenes, the basic work will pay dividends when the time is right and the lights are on. So I just think it's not about cutting the line or finding a quick fix. It's about truly in immersing yourself in the process, like Gino said, learning, surrounding yourself with people who can help forward you along in your process, and just repetition, repetitiveness. Make sure you are a master of your trade, right? That saying about a jack of all trades, a king of none. You want to really be focused and dialed in.
Eric, that was beautiful. Thank you. Clap it up for Eric. That was wonderful. All right, Billy, take us home.
Oh my God, hard follow-ups on these. I mean, my philosophy, you know, I've been in corporate America just like Kenny. I spent plenty of years as a creative, and loving some of it, hating some of it. What I have to say is just love what you do. What I'm doing now is just, it's been the greatest journey. I've been doing this for 7 years with NBALAB, with the NBA. I've been working with them for the last 12 years with the art, and just loving every minute of it. There's a lot of hard work. We get tired, we get backaches, we get every kind of ache. Love the journey. That's the important thing, because you know, it makes you healthy. You know, you don't want to stress over everything. You want to just make sure that you love every step of the journey.
Beautifully said, Billy. Give it up for Billy one time. Hey, I feel much more educated on NBA Lab. I love what you guys are doing. If you guys enjoyed this panel, if you don't mind standing up and giving these guys their flowers, make some noise for Billy and Eric of NBA Lab. We got Gino of B2SS, and of course we have Kenny of Action Face. Make some noise for all of these guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at NBA Con. We're gonna have some more NBA Convos tomorrow. I hope to see all of you there, but give yourselves a nice round of applause too for being such an awesome crowd. Never gets old to me. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.